The trial of Rwanda's genocide suspect Felicien Kabuga continues at the International Criminal Court at The Hague, where the 85 years old has requested to have the trial take place in Europe and not at the ICTR in Tanzania. Lawyers representing Kabuga have cited health concern for the client, as well as travel restrictions brought up by the global health crisis. The United Nations War Crimes Prosecutor's Office, which led the manhunt for Mr. Kabuga, has brought new evidence to light concerning Mr. Kabuga's flight from justice and a network of politicians and leaders from East Africa involved in providing sanctuary and resources while he was a fugitive from justice. Among the names mentioned is that of Kenya's current deputy, President William Ruto, who also has a case before the Hague-based Court for Crimes Against Humanity. There is a strong evidence to suggest that Mr. Ruto provided Mr. Kabuga with a hideout in Nairobi, as well as security personnel in exchange for money and connections to Rwanda's mineral markets. There is also evidence that while in Kenya, Mr. Kabuga and Mr. Ruto participated, or in part ordered, the murder of several individuals, including a judge, a journalist, and an employee of the ICTR on loan from the Kenya government. It is expected that the prosecutor will link these murders to Mr. Ruto, who at the time was a government minister in the influential ruling party. Interest in Mr. Ruto's case were reignited earlier this month, when his former lawyer, Mr. Paul Gicheru, surrendered himself to the Dutch authorities as a cooperating witness against Mr. Ruto. The court had issued a warrant of arrest against Mr. Gicheru, who is accused of interfering with witnesses for the prosecution against Mr. Ruto. Many of the witnesses withdrew their testimony, or refused to testify, and several others were found murdered, forcing the trial judges to dismiss the case until further evidence could be found to prove Mr. Ruto's guilt or innocence. The similarities between Mr. Kabuga and Mr. Ruto's cases are remarkable. Both men are accused of inciting acts of aggression against minority ethnic groups in their home districts. Both men are accused of sponsoring radio stations that broadcast their message for ethnic cleansing and totalitarian rule. Both men are accused of killing or interfering with witnesses against them. Both men are accused of sponsoring militias with common garden tools for the purpose of genocide, and both have used political leverage to evade justice. Mr. Ruto is credited with inciting tribal-based violence against the Kikuyu community, leading to the forced eviction of over 300,000 people from his native Rift Valley province following the highly contested 2007 general elections. During his trial at The Hague, audio and video recordings were shown where Mr. Ruto used openly divisive language that has been credited for the murder of over 80,000 Rift Valley residents, as well as torture, rape, and arson. New testimony from his former lawyers is set to detail further crimes, including oath-taking ceremonies and the murder of a prominent political figure who had given preliminary evidence to ICC investigators. For now, the world is watching and waiting as the prosecutor prepares to try once again to bring justice to both Rwandese and Kenyan victims.